Now, this is a story I found that was very interesting, and you don't see too much on mainstream media. They're talking about making lab-grown meat. Take a look and tell me what you think.
So cultivated meat, put really simply, is real meat that is grown from animal cells. So if you imagine the meat that we have loved and eaten for tens of thousands of years, the meat that we cultivate is actually biologically the same, but it's made in a whole new way.
Now, for me, I think it's a bad idea. I mean, because say if lab-grown meat turns into the way of the future and that's the only way you're going to be able to get meat. I know there's going to be farmers out there that are going to have cattle and chickens and all that kind of stuff. But what if they go and they say now that's illegal and you can't get any of those kind of animals or anything like that, and you can only get lab-grown meat, right? And they're going to be the ones who are going to regulate what they put in it and what they don't put in it. And look at all the stuff that they put in our food now, you know what I mean? And a lot of the stuff that just can kill a person because of all the bad chemicals that they put in there. Now, I just want to know, what do you think about this, and would you consider eating lab-grown meat? Okay, so let's roll the rest of this interesting story.
Ultimately, the cells do what they do. They like to double, they like to grow, and then ultimately they become meat. So after 7 to 14 days, or a little longer, depending on what we're making, we harvest the cells, and then we can make it into any meat product that you love. So it could be a chicken fillet, it could be a hamburger, a hot dog, it could be pretty much anything that you can think of.
Getting USDA approval now opens up the pathway for us to sell cultivated meat here in the biggest market in the world, in a place that's one of the biggest meat producers in the world, and I think lends a lot of credibility towards what this is going to be in the future. So it'll be a momentous, historic moment for the food industry.
Now, I was thinking as well, could this be the start, you know, like in Star Trek, the way they have the replicators? Could this be the start of the replicator age, of them making these lab-grown meats and stuff? Now, are they going to start replicating vegetables and all kinds of other grains and stuff in these machines as well?
You know, whether it's an electric car or it's ChatGPT, it feels strange, a little peculiar initially, but after a period of time, it becomes ubiquitous and boring, and that's eventually the path for cultivated meat.
So the hurdles are the size of the investment, the scaling up, and who are you targeting as a customer? And especially, who is going to eat this if you're not forced to eat lab-grown meat? Okay,
so there's the big question for me. If you're not forced to eat lab-grown meat, but what if one day the government decides, let's regulate it and let's force people to eat this lab-grown meat? Just think about it.
While you will be eating lab-grown meat. I mean, the real challenge would be, how can you make enough chicken meat in a fermenter at the cost of the chicken, which is the lowest one?
For some period of time, I would say it's at least 2 years, probably more than that. It'll be very small volumes. So to get to a point where no matter who you are, you know, if you're hearing this, it'll be in your local grocery store, in your local restaurant, we'll need to build much larger infrastructure.